beautiful Efrat and the rise of Hashem's kingdom. A presentation of the Jewish Heritage Project. It was about 3,500 years ago, Rachel, the beloved wife of Jacob, passed away in the hills of Judea. It is written, "So Rachel died and she was buried on the way to Ephratah, which is Bethlehem." This is the first time Efrat is noted in the Torah, and the place of Rachel's tomb remains unto this day just north of Efrat. It would be about 600 years after Rachel's passing that a woman named Naomi would return from the fields of Moab on the east side of the Jordan River. She returned to the same area in the hills of Judea, for she had heard that Hashem our God had visited her people by giving them bread. Her husband and 2 sons had died outside the land, living among the Gentiles. So after this, Naomi, hearing that prosperity had come to her people, strengthened herself, took courage, rose up and crossed the Jordan River and returned to her land. Her widowed daughter-in-law, Ruth, clung to her, saying, "For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." For Ruth had decided it was better for her to live among the people of Israel, in the land of Israel, than to be left behind outside the land. Ruth crossed the Jordan River with Naomi.
It's all started here in Judea, and we, the sons of God, are coming back now to Judea, and we are now building back the kingdom of Israel, not only in Judea, the kingdom of united Judea and Israel, B'ezrat Hashem.
And it is written in the Torah, "And you shall cross the Jordan and settle in the land Hashem your God is giving you as an inheritance. And he will give you rest from all your enemies surrounding you, and you will dwell securely." Indeed, Hashem blessed Ruth with rest and security. Boaz commended her for coming to live in the land of Israel, saying to this righteous woman, "May Hashem reward your deeds. May your reward be full from Hashem, God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take shelter." Yes, Ruth came to live under the wings of the Almighty and settled in the area of Efrat in Judea. Not only that, Boaz became her husband. The elders of the town said to Boaz, "May Hashem make this woman who is entering your house like Rachel and Leah, both of whom built up the house of Israel, and prosper in Ephratah, and be famous in Bethlehem. Her reward for joining the people of Israel in the land of Israel was that Ruth became part of the transformation process of Israel passing from a nation of its people into a kingdom nation with one who would arise from her offspring from these very hills. His name was David.
מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך.
King David as a boy grew up on these very hills and was anointed king over the tribe of Judah about 17 kilometers south of Efrat in Hebron, the burial place of the patriarchs. And 7 years later, David would be anointed king in Hebron over all the tribes of Israel. It's written, all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and King David sealed a covenant with them in Hebron before Hashem, and they anointed David king over Israel. David then conquered Jerusalem and made it the capital of Israel. He would save his people from their enemies, inspire generations through his songs, and prepare the groundwork for the building of the Holy Temple. The modern city of Efrat is an outstanding city blessed by God and home to about 13,000 wonderful Jews. Despite the struggles regarding Jewish settlement on this land, which is at the cradle of the Hebrew civilization, Efrat has prevailed and has become a beacon for Hashem's light and prosperity. It is a signpost to all that the people of Israel are returning to their heartland and renewing their ancient Hebrew civilization in these modern times. The land where David grew up has now become a tribute to him, demonstrated by the success and blessing that the God of Israel has poured out on Efrat and the communities around it in Gush Etzion. But most of all, we must thank our beloved God for keeping his promise to return his people to this land and building them up. He had previously spoken through Jeremiah the prophet, saying, I will rebuild you again as at first. When the children of Israel were sent into exile, many passed by the tomb of Rachel. It is written, a voice heard on high, lamentation, bitter weeping. Rachel weeping for her children, she refuses to be comforted for her children, for they are no more. However, a voice went out from Hashem, saying to Rachel, refrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for there is a reward for your work, says Hashem. And they shall come back from the land of the enemy, and there is hope for your future, says Hashem. And the children shall return to their own border. Indeed, the unstoppable process of redemption for the people of Israel in the heartland of Judea and Samaria and all of the land of Israel, especially in these hills, can be considered the laying of the foundation for the rise of God's kingdom. Let's visit Efrat's new aqueduct gardens, where they have captured a natural underground spring and are turning it into something beautiful. Our beloved God spoke through Ezekiel the prophet, saying, "And I shall settle you as in your early days, and I shall make you better than at your beginnings, and you will know that I am Hashem." It was the pioneering struggle that set the foundation for renewed Jewish life in the heartland of the people of Israel. And Efrat is a product of that righteous struggle. Even today, pioneers continue on the far outer edges of Efrat, in a place that was designated for a new neighborhood, but it has not yet been realized. Let's visit one good lady in Givat Etam, involved in this pioneering struggle.
My hands are going to come up behind you. I'm just kidding. So, what are you doing? Too bad it's up Thursday. We could take you down to the market. Oh, the Efrat market is my favorite place. Hi, how are you? My name is Dr. Melissa Jane Kronfeld, and you are out here on Givat Etam. Givat Etam is a hill in the middle of the luscious Judean landscape in the region of Gush Etzion, about 10-15 minutes outside the community of Efrat, Alon Shrut, Techoa, and Bat Ain. This community is on an elevated area. It's one of the highest areas in all of Judea, and surrounding the entire community is what we call the Arab Wadi. This is a working farm with a synagogue that was recently constructed, and it's home to boys that are learning how to farm and to study, perhaps in lieu of going off to the army right now or going to a more formal yeshiva program. That's not uncommon in Israel. It gives an opportunity for people who maybe don't fit into a formal structure to really continue to explore their Judaism, their volunteerism, and their commitment to the land and state of Israel. This farm is a critical part of the development of the future state of Israel. We are on the periphery of the biblical lands of the state of Israel, and it is farming communities like this and the sheep that graze on this community that push and change each and every single day the borders of the state of Israel. As many people like to say, the borders of Israel are as far as the Israeli sheep can graze. And that's critical because the biblical homeland of the Jewish people is not the state of Israel as we see it today. Part of helping to reclaim the biblical homeland of the Jewish people in Judea and Samaria, this area is often referred to as the West Bank, west of the bank of the River Jordan, but it is a designation that does not afford its historical value or our indigenous claim to this land. But this area one day will be part of the state of Israel, and these small communities that are here, where I have a home, and where there are a couple of other people who live here on this hill, not a lot, probably less than 10 in total live here full time. We're part of reclaiming Jewish statehood, history, heritage. We talk about, the whole world wants to talk about indigenous rights. We want to talk about First Peoples and First Nations. Well, we're the first person. We defined what it means to be indigenous. Before the Jews, there was nothing. And so our claim to this land that was given to us, the covenant with Abraham and God, there's nothing more that we need to claim this place than that. And so myself and the other people out here and those in the communities, settlement communities in and around Israel, working on the periphery, are the future. We are the modern day Zionists. We are the ones who are pushing forward what it means to be a Jew and Israeli in the modern day and age. This farm is particularly unique. It's in a very historic area. It is one of the highest areas in all of Judea, if not the highest. Outside my house, you can actually find part of the aqueduct that was built during the Hasmonean period. The aqueducts that run around this farm transported the water up to the Temple Mount. The Etam Springs, therefore, that's why it's called the Etam Farm, but the Etam Springs is a very special place in the history of the Jewish people's first and second temple. But welcome to the Etam in Judea.
Hi everybody, my name is Chaim. This is my health food shop in Efrat. I want to tell you something special that you will never feel over there abroad. We are here in Efrat, 5-10 minutes away from Rachel tombs. Everything you read in the Torah happens right here. Everybody walked from here to there. This is the actual place of Avraham Avinu. This is the land of Israel, our promised land. You're all welcome to come and visit and even to live here. The best place to be and work.
The rebirth of our ancient Hebrew civilization on the land where we first began in Judea and Samaria is a miracle giving birth before our eyes. Efrat is a jewel in Israel's crown. Hashem our God spoke of these days through the prophet Jeremiah, saying, "With everlasting love have I loved you. Therefore I have drawn you to me with loving kindness. Yet again will I rebuild you, and you shall be built, O Virgin of Israel." Who can understand the love of Hashem? He is keeping His promises to our people. Hashem gives his children another promise of these days as written in the prophet Amos. And I will return the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall rebuild desolate cities and inhabit them. I will plant them on their land, and they shall no longer be uprooted from upon their land that I have given them, says Hashem your God. Thank you, Hashem, for the good land that you have given us.